This copyrighted telecast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent of NASCAR Broadcasting. NASCAR would like to thank all of our loyal fans for your continued support, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.
After tragedy and triumph, and speaking of tragedy, right there, an issue for the 97 of Jeff Choquette.
We talked about Choquette getting out of the gate strong this year. An 11th place finish and an 8th out of Iowa, and this track's a whole lot like Iowa. It reminds you of it the way it drives, but problems here. Oh, blow the right front tire. Look, I talked in the opening about how hard you'd hit if something went wrong. How'd that feel?
We're talking about probably speeds upwards of 150 miles an hour.
Issue for Busher on the track.
And the caution comes out. John King in the 5 hits the wall pretty hard, bringing out our second caution.
See Cale Gale on the outside. Looks like Nelson Piquet. Oh, trouble in the middle of the straightaway.
Jason White involved in this one, as well as, I believe that's the 11 of Todd Bodine.
Boy, Todd, just a victim of circumstances. The wrong place at the wrong time. And look at the damage to that Toyota.
We saw Jason White have some issues coming out of turn 4. Catches the 11 of Todd Bodine, so more damage for that team.
Wow, and a lot of damage on that gunbroker.com grind boss truck of Jason White.
Take another look.
Oh no, Jason's just loose.
Just got sideways, caught it, but unfortunately, probably would have been okay if Todd had to come along, but Todd had to go somewhere.
And this year, that's been the story for Todd Bodine. He's been
quite a bit of damage to that gunbroker Ford.
No one's having none of it.
Kligerman's in the wall.
Parker Kligerman in the wall just as Ty Dillon took the lead away from Brian Scott. Huge damage to the 7 for Kligerman.
On the bottom right there, Parker, 20 inside.
We're hearing there may have been some contact from behind. I believe the 88 of Matt Crafton was behind Parker.
And you see the damage to the left front of that truck.
Well, that was after the fact. He ran into
and hit the wall as well. We take another look.
Yeah, it just Kligerman just gets loose down on the inside of Ryan Blaney, and Matt Crafton had nowhere to go.
Yeah, absolutely.
There was no contact at all from behind. It's just, that's how tough it is to drive. Wasn't able to do so.
Ryan Scott has led 45 laps.
Oh, sideways.
And into the wall goes the 13 of Johnny Sauter. Also with damage, the 9 of Ron Hornaday.
Great job by Ryan Truex, snaking his way through there. It looked like maybe Nelson Piquet got loose on the inside of Johnny Sauter and hit Sauter and put him in the wall.
Miguel Paludo, the 32 truck, got a piece of that as well.
Saw the 30 of Nelson Piquet Jr. slow through there. It looks as though he has some damage also. There's a lot of damage to that 9 of Ron Hornaday.
See on the inside of Johnny Sauter, Nelson Piquet was there. I don't know that Nelson went up as much as maybe.
Spark potentially too on the right side? It looked like right when he was checking up, there was a spark on the right side.
He's on the inside of him who drives ahead of him. So great job by that young man when they throw the green flag of gaining the advantage.
Looks like a great restart for Ryan Blaney, and now Cale Gale is coming back on the inside trying to take that spot away. Those two racing for third.
Got to be careful. They're running side by side. We saw what happened just a few moments ago. Oh. And there we have it again.
One more time, Cale Gale goes around, this time right in front of the field. And the caution will come out for the 6th time.
Not a lot of damage, I don't believe, on Cale Gale's truck. Just lightly into the outside, but he was trying to squeeze down on the bottom. Lost it. Like you said, Phil, could have been a lot of trouble for Ryan Blaney, but fortunately, Blaney wasn't hit by Gale. See the
let's take a look at it. You see them running side by side. We saw what happened to cause our last caution.
There it is, contact with the right front. He just got into the left rear.
How about the job by Brendan Gaughan and Herman Cataroga to get by him?
Is losing grip. He said, I could really feel it, and oh, he's going to be in the middle of this one. Mike Harmon goes around.
Whoa. Ryan Blaney got a little bit of a piece of that, and Ty Dillon did an incredible job to avoid it on the outside. He came on him so quickly.
You could see Larson went high, Truex went low, made just a tiny bit of contact.
Watch Ty Dillon.
Look at Ryan Blaney. Made a bit of contact as well, but man, he looked.
Kyle Larson just fresh off the K&N East Championship, going for a truck win.
What about that kid? He knew he needed to be low when he got into turn 3. Heck, he was all the way off the racetrack. Oh!
Around goes Brendan Gaughan, and Ron Caroga got into the back of him. Ty Dillon also involved in this.
Go up here behind those.
Herman Caroga just ran too deep into turn 1.
Take it easy here in case it's rubbing too hard down below that tire. We're done. Here.
Ty Dillon says we're done, but I'm telling you, there's a lot of body damage, but I'm not sure they are that dumb. Looks like the right front tire is not askew.
I think Brendan's upset with
Brendan's going to get out of the truck and voice his displeasure.
I'm not sure Armand's going to understand what he's saying.
Limited amount of opportunities for Brendan Gaughan.
Roga just drives way far down into turn 1 and runs over the back of Brendan Gaughan, and then Ty Dillon just nowhere to go, but pretty hard damage on the right front corner. If it isn't bent, if the toe's not out of whack or some of the suspension bent on that right front, he'll be really fortunate.
At the pace, you see the bottom open up for Ryan Blaney. He's not going to fight too hard knowing that he's in the driver's seat for this championship, but he doesn't want to lose too many more positions.
Yeah, Timothy Peters now, as they run on the track, is closed within 21 points of our point leader, James Busher. So you don't like seeing those guys going by late in the going.
And Busher just went by the 3 of Ty Dillon. I'm sure that he wasn't expecting that to happen, but because of the issues that Ty Dillon has had, Busher has now put Dillon a lap down, at least behind him.
That's why you never take anything for granted in this sport. Ty Dillon was having a great run. He'd started in the back, fought his way to the front, but got involved in a crash.
Hermie, are there issues with the 31 right now?
Well, Rick, the truck is getting tighter and tighter the longer they run, and they wasn't really expecting the 39 and the 29 to put that kind of pressure on them with less than 10 laps to go, but they are championship racing. They're just saying, let's just ride this one out, get to the finish. It'll be a decent points night, but the 31 truck struggling with a tight condition.
And Timothy Peters solidly up in the 3rd spot, so a couple of the championship contenders fell out of contention tonight, but Timothy Peters isn't going to give up yet. Brake
rotor glowing red on that 31 of James Busher as we're down to under 6 laps of racing to go. There's the distance between 1 and 2. Lofton able to get by Ryan Truex. He has issues in the 27, has to go up the track.
Might have been a little bit of contact as they enter turn number 3.
Ryan's bumper sure looks like there's been some contact, hasn't there? Wow, that's aggressive.
I think Lofton really wanted that spot.
I'm sure Ryan Truex wanted it too.
Here's the race for the lead. Slower lap truck potentially coming into play. Matt Merrill in the 35. The 4 has to slow down as they have just 5 laps of racing to go.
You know, Kyle Larson has really worked traffic extremely well. Bad break right there for Brian Scott. Not able to get to the bottom, had to wait on Matt Merrill for just an instant.
Yeah, but good run for Merrill. He's running inside the top 15, so got an Aaron's lucky dog early in the going and has been able to stay in the top 15.
That is the first time he's been a lap down, so Matt Merrill, a strong run here.
You see the gap now. But that time it cost Brian Scott down there in the middle of the corner. That gave about 2 or 3 more truck lengths to that 4 of Kyle Larson as Mike Hillman Jr. looks on.
Pretty good night, pretty good year for Turner Motors.
Yes.
Looking like a really good night for them.
Yeah, and I'm sure Mike Hillman Jr., he's been around long enough. He knows that nothing is over until the checkered flag flies, but almost looks like he's trying to hide a smile right now. How impressed he is with this young man. 20-year-old Kyle Larson out in front.
Oh, caution on the racetrack.
And Busher has issues. Your point leader into the wall. The right front tire goes down on James Busher.
Come to it.
It was a pretty good night for Turner Motorsports.
Sure was. Wow, look at the damage to that X-side Chevrolet.
The right front not even turning on that 31.
We talked about the pressure of being the point leader. He had 15 points over the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, just 20.
And there's 13 to Ty Dillon. 3 to go. 2 when they get to the stripe. Green flag back in the air.
Contact. Brian Scott's leaning on Kyle Larson.
Larson dives into turn 1. Side by side. Here comes Brian Scott on the high side. He'll take the lead as they come out of 2.
What a great job by Brian Scott. What a veteran move by him.
Yeah, he had a couple of runs on the outside on restarts. Wasn't able to get it done, but when it counted, baby, he got it done.
Brian Scott, when he comes around this time, if he sees the white flag and gets to it, next flag will determine the race winner.
Joey Coulter's been able to get around Timothy Peters for the 3rd spot.
Larson come back, reel in that 18. Not enough time, too much distance. Kyle Larson running second, a very impressive performance tonight. But in the end, Brian Scott coming through 3 and 4. Out of turn number 4, second career win in the Truck Series. Brian Scott wins at Phoenix. The team celebrating. We talked about the 18 owned by Kyle Busch Motorsports. Hadn't been to victory lane yet.
Thank you.
Let's go on their time.
Rick, awesome job, everybody. Great job, everybody. Way to dig Brian Scott on that restart.
Rick Wren, we heard Kyle Busch say you're the man.
Yeah, what a great night for that team. Great job for Brian Scott. Uncertain of what his future is, but man, when the money was on the line, he dug down deep inside and made a perfect restart and passed for the lead on the outside here at Phoenix.
Fireworks in the air. We saw fireworks on the track tonight, especially in our championship battle. Brian Scott's going to begin his celebration. Mile racetrack's working out for that young man. He goes to victory lane. Kyle Larson, a very strong performance, finishes second tonight.
This copyrighted telecast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent of NASCAR Broadcasting. NASCAR would like to thank all of our loyal fans for your continued support, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.